This next segment is on jobs and the economy. As you probably already know, the unemployment rate is about 6.9%, and it's double that for young people. Young people 15 to 24 are having a hard time finding work. Many of them are, after their university or college degrees, are moving back in with their parents. They're delaying things like buying a house and getting married and having children, and that's because it's hard to find a job, and it's hard to find a full-time job, and even one with a pension. So what should the government do about tackling youth unemployment? Is there even a role for the government to play? Susan, what do you think?
I think there is a role for the government to play. They can find ways to help to encourage companies to hire young people. They can find ways to encourage young people or to tell people about the kinds of jobs that exist. There are thousands of jobs in the energy sector in British Columbia and in Alberta and Saskatchewan that don't have enough people working in them. But I think young people don't know that there are jobs out there that they could get. When I was a kid, there was a poster in high school that said, if you stay in math this long, and it was a picture of every single job that you could have. I think there's a way to continue to promote that for young people, to say about the kinds of jobs and the kinds of skills, connect the skills and the studying that they do to the jobs that are out there in the workplace. And that is something the federal government can play a role in. It can work with companies to help do that. It can be part of one of its national advertising campaigns. And it can use its money to help encourage people and companies to do.
But for you, it's more about promotion than actually investing in tax credits or things to get companies to employ young people?
I think I mean, it's again, it's a balanced approach. Sure, they can do that kind of investment in encouraging companies to do that. They're trying to put together something that's called a Canada Jobs Grant that I suspect Jason's going to talk about, but it doesn't exist yet, and the provinces are not agreeing on what the federal government wants to do in that.
Well, I think we all have small businesses, actually. Each of us has small businesses. And when we hire people, it's when we have confidence in the future and we think that we're going to be able to make money and therefore meet payroll and pay the people that we hire. So whether that's an older person or a younger person, it really doesn't matter. We make decisions the same way. Am I going to have the business, and do I have the confidence and the stability? So I think the best thing that the government can do is make sure that we've got a stable economy that looks like it's going to grow for a number of years. So, you know, rather than stagnant growth, 1, 2, 3, 4%. And I think the best things that they can do there are keep the balance. Like, the government can only do so much. If the government can't hire everybody, the government has to make sure that businesses can hire people. And I think taxes low, keeping the balanced budget. I do like the idea of some training programs, and I don't know. I think it's a little bit abstract in terms of, I don't know how, you know, a tax credit for hiring young people at ages 18 to 21. I'm not sure whether it would work. It's an idea worth looking at, but I think what you've got to do is keep a broad picture and make sure that the economy's headed in the right direction so that businesses have the confidence to hire people.
So for you, it's mostly about letting the market decide?
I think that's right. I think that's right.
Robert?
Where I will agree with Jason is on the fact that young people are better off when the economy is growing. They get disproportionately affected by recessions and positively impacted when the economy grows at a better rate than other demographics. So the economy needs to be growing. But what can the government do to specifically target youth unemployment? I think it is a combination of things. Incentivizing business behavior is important. So whereas the Conservative government has favored tax credits to business and hopes that they will hire people, targeted tax credits, whether they are for hiring anybody of any demographic or specifically in hiring young Canadians, I think that is a way to incentivize the behavior you want from businesses. But I think, as was touched on, training and skills development is essential. You need to prepare young Canadians for whatever jobs tomorrow is going to bring. We don't know what those are, but we do know that in addition to my generation, young Canadians now coming out of high school are going to have 5+ careers over their lifetime. So that's a daunting probability. And to address that, we have to increase access to post-secondary education so that kids have the broad educational tools they need to address the jobs of tomorrow.